Hi, everyone. My name is Katie Thompson,
And I'm Sarah Halsey.
and we're here to talk today about tuberculosis, the disease and its vaccine, and how both of those affected countries around the world will be discussing a different country from 6 of the 7 continents in our world, not Antarctica, obviously.
In each summary, we'll be going over specifically how the disease affected the country and the BCG vaccine in that country. First up is the United States representing North America.
The United States has a population of almost 333 million people as of July 2020. The United States is composed of 50 states and numerous territories. It is a democratic government consisting of 3 branches: legislative, executive, and judicial. In 2019, 8,900 people were infected with tuberculosis, and up to 12 million people were living with latent TB infection. The first tuberculosis vaccine was introduced in the United States in the 1950s. Currently, due to TB's low prevalence, vaccines are reserved for people who are in special groups, including those who are children continuously exposed to the disease and healthcare workers. Currently, there are several misconceptions about tuberculosis and its transmission amongst much of the United States population. People trust the idea that if a doctor tells them that they should get the vaccine as it will protect them against contracting TB, then they should and will get it. There is also a massive knowledge gap of TB vaccines between United States-born citizens and foreign-born citizens. Next up is China.
So, I'll be discussing China from the continent of Asia. As of March 2021, China has a population of almost 1.5 billion people. They have a president who is also the general secretary of the Communist Party. In China, the Communist Party is the power center that controls every government department, military force, court, and parliamentary meeting. In 2019, 833,000 people were infected with TB in China. China was able to reduce the rate of TB by 24% between 2010 and 2019. The BCG vaccine was introduced in the early 1930s. Until liberation, the cost of the vaccine was too much for Chinese workers and peasants, so they were unable to receive it. After 1949, though, the People's Government took this virus more seriously and set up anti-tuberculosis clinics for more to get the vaccine. Currently, the vaccine is available in all 29 provinces of the mainland, and as of 1979, 500 million vaccinations have been administered to children under 15. Originally, it was pricey, and the method of giving the vaccine was not suitable for those living in rural areas or spread out areas, since there were not enough needles or syringes. However, China adapted to those who struggled originally and now have better methods. In addition, the decrease in TB throughout the years is due to China having better living conditions following liberation. Next is Germany.
Next, Germany has a population of 80.1 million people as of July 2020. It is a parliamentary and federal democracy government. Similar to the United States' 50 states, Germany is composed of 16 federal states, which includes the cities of Hamburg, Berlin, and Bremen. In the year 2019, 4,900 people were infected with tuberculosis. Overall, the nation of Germany has an extremely low risk of contracting TB, with it being less than 1%. 0.1%. However, most of those who do contract tuberculosis are foreign-born nationals who are more likely to get infected than German-born citizens. The tuberculosis vaccine was introduced in present-day Germany in 2 different time periods: 1951 to 1952, and then Soviet Union-run East Germany, and then Democratic-run West Germany in 1953 to 1955. Until 1990, the TB vaccine was mandatory for every German citizen. Since 1998, the vaccine was discontinued. In Germany, health insurance is mandatory for all citizens, and approximately 86% of the total population is enrolled to receive state-run health care. The nation's significant decrease in the number of tuberculosis cases is due to the vast majority of its population having health insurance. It is also important to note that people are more likely to contract tuberculosis and receive proper care if they are a part of a well-standing social class and or occupation where they would have the resources to get properly treated and vaccinated, especially before there was nationwide health care. Next up is Brazil.
Brazil, located in South America, has a population of around 213 million people as of March 2021. They have a president who acts as the chief of state and head of government, and they introduced separate state powers in 1988. In 2019, almost 100,000 people were infected with TB in Brazil, having a rate of about 46 per 100,000 people who contracted the disease. The vaccine was introduced in 1927, and it became mandatory for babies to receive the vaccine within the first few months of being born in 1976. However, today, Brazil has introduced universal BCG immunization in 1967 to 68 and continues today. BCG is given again to professionals of the health sector and people close who have contracted the disease, and that is according to Brazilian law. Next is Algeria.
Algeria is a country located in Africa. It has a population of 43.6 million people as of July 2020. Its government is a republic composed of three branches: legislative, executive, and judicial. In 2019, 26,000 people were infected with tuberculosis. Algeria has a greater than 40 per 100,000 people rate of its population contracting tuberculosis in 2004. That being said, TB is endemic in Algeria. The first TB vaccine was introduced in Algeria in 1972. Currently, the tuberculosis vaccine is required for everyone and is given only once and at birth. It is important to note that Algeria is projected to have a slow COVID-19 vaccine rollout, which is similar to its tuberculosis vaccine rollout and a strong factor in its widespread presence across the country to this day. Next up is Australia.
Our last country we're going to be talking about is Australia, and it's its own country and continent. It has a population of 25.7 million people. They have a federal parliamentary constitutional monarchy with a prime minister. The monarch, Queen Elizabeth II, is represented by the Governor General. It has an executive, legislative, and judicial branch of its government. In 2019, 1,700 people got tuberculosis, and the country has a rate of about 6.9 per 100,000 people. There is wide speculation on when exactly this vaccine was introduced to Australia, but it had to be before 1950 because there is knowledge and record that the BCG vaccine was used between the 1950s to the 1980s. They ended up removing it from the routine vaccinations because their rate lowered below 5 people per 100,000 people infected. Currently, it is not part of the routine vaccine. Recently, there has been discussion about increasing the vaccine with hopes that it would protect against COVID-19.
That is it. Thank you for watching.